Mr. Chairman, I believe you had a statement you wanted to begin with?
Now, tonight we're going to be talking about a water treatment facility, but essentially water capacity is needed in order for us to continue this positive trend in town. Those gallons return every year $2.4 million to our budget. Without this project we're going to talk about tonight, we are going to be capacity constrained.
In 2017, we identified the need to improve Plainville's water in quality, quantity, and in reliability. Our water treatment plant is a key contributor to all three legs of that tripod. As regulatory compliance becomes more stringent, it's going to fail to meet state and federal drinking water regulations. When we started looking at this and started coming up with this plan, this is about capacity. It's about having enough water for all your homes, your schools, and the businesses we need to keep our taxes low. Reliable access to clean water attracts businesses and industries that depend on it for their operations, creating jobs, stimulating economic growth, and paying taxes to Plainville in such a way that our current commercial development is responsible for us paying $1,000 per household less than our surrounding towns because the commercial development is picking up an extra slice of the tab. How are we going to pay for this? That's a great question. I'll make a note right at the start. Nowhere on this slide do you see the words override, or debt exclusion, or increased taxes. We have applied for and been accepted to the State Revolving Fund, which is a program the state offers using ARPA funds from the federal government to pay for remediation of water supply systems, especially those with PFAS issues. We've been approved for $15 million in that fund at 0% interest with 3.3% principal forgiveness. We have about $4 million in PFAS settlement money coming. We also have $1.3 million from completed water projects that we've identified that we borrowed the money for the projects, but we completed them for less than what we had borrowed. How much is it going to cost to run this plant? And that's a good question, because the plan is going to be somewhat different and somewhat very much the same. So as you can see, we've upped our expected costs for chemicals by about $16,000 to cover that. We think the utilities will be a little more expensive because we've got extra equipment to run and operate, but not a significant change.
Can anybody in the town government give us an idea of the date this will be online, estimated, of course?
The expectation would be, based on approval tonight, we'd be looking to go out for bid in the spring after we get DEP approval, probably get bids in around June 2025 and start construction and be ready to operate 2 years later. So sometime in the 2027 that we'd be operating, if we start now.
I'm assuming this $26 million is going to come out of our pockets somehow. How much more on an annual basis does a person or household get to pay for this new facility?
And our estimates right now are that it would be an average of around $200 per ratepayer. But that's, before we get through the other sources we're trying to find for additional money.
Is that per fiscal year?
Per year, annually, sorry.
You talked about increased capacity. Percentage-wise, are we talking about 150% increase in capacity here?
So the capacity of this proposed plant would be 1.5 million gallons per day, so almost doubling it.
Those in favor of the passage of this article, please raise your cards. Thank you. Please lower your cards. Those opposed to this article, please raise your cards. Okay, it's the judgment of the moderator that a 2/3 majority has been attained. The article passes. Article 2.
The finance director recommends, and I so move, the town repurpose a sum of $1,389,274.39 from previously borrowed funds to be applied to the cost of the water treatment project and/or the new well project that would otherwise be bonded for a similar purpose and term specifically as listed in Article 2 of the special town meeting of October 7, 2024. Our new finance director and our current administration's policy is going to be not to bond until you know the final cost, so you don't have this money sitting around unusable. So we have a number, most of them are small, but there are a couple big ones, and it does mean we can reallocate this money that we've already borrowed that's sitting in accounts that we can't use for a similar purpose and a similar lifetime, and the water treatment plant and the new well project both qualify for that. So this is just a good sense move to use resources we already have.
Hearing none, this article, which I have a motion, I have a second, I have Finance Committee recommendation. Discussion is closed. We have a majority vote on this article. All those in favor, please raise your cards. Thank you. You can lower your cards. Those opposed to this article, please raise your cards. Okay, seeing none, that's a unanimous vote. Article 3.